Steve. Yeah, man. Happy New Year to you, bro. Yeah. Look, we had our agreement, 45, and you sell. Yeah, listen, I'm fulfilling my end of the stick, bro. Yes, I've got the twins for you. I've got the twins, yep. Now, listen, I've got to go live, but listen, there's a bit of a problem with those twins. I know I agreed the escorts, you sell at 45 and what have you, hold till 45. I get that. But no, listen. The problem is the twins. Listen, one's called Tina and the other one's called Tim. Yeah. Don't know. Listen, it's all I could get my hands on. I'm sorry, bro, but you might have a bit of fun. Listen, I'm gonna go now because I've got to go live. Nah. Forget that, bro. Forget it. Listen, you'll have fun with Tina and Tim. Don't worry. Catch you later. Mad love, Steve. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you guys. What is good? Welcome back to the flavor that we call cryptocurrency and BTC. What's been going on in my absence, ladies and gentlemen? Lots of hype behind this ETF. We got Cathie Wood selling all of her cryptocurrency holdings on the grounds of a potential sell the news event. And we've just got cryptocurrency players not caring. $1.8 trillion valuation of this ETF is what they're talking about. Boy, it's a good start to the year for Bitcoin. What's been going on, guys? Have you missed me? I've missed you guys. I've been itching to get back to the charts. And of course, after the live, I'll be like, man, I need a break. We've got lots to talk about. Even though this week is a short week in terms of the marketplace, we're going to dive into what we can expect because the window for the approval for the ETF is any moment now. Bitcoin's moved up. It's a bit of a problem, you know? Taking the 45, but I'm not seeing the conviction, man. I would anticipate and be accepting of Bitcoin to move higher than what it is now. On the anticipation of the ETF comes into play, it slumps. Then when it pulls back, it doesn't fall down to points where we get concerned. Bitcoin above 40K will be good for me, regardless of whatever happens once the ETF is approved. So we're going to be diving into that very shortly. We're going to have a look at some altcoins where there's going to be some unlocks happening very soon, where we know when it comes to an unlock, there's going to be a lot of corrective moves in the altcoin market. So I'm going to be diving into those bad boys very, very shortly. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to be back. I hope you're rested. I hope you've enjoyed your food. You've chilled with the family. I know I have. I needed the break. And the complete disconnect from the charts was good for me. I enjoyed it, but we're coming now into the start of the new year. We're going into the final quarter earnings with JP Morgan getting the party started. And we're going to be talking about the stock market and its state right now and what we can expect going into this week, given that we've only got 3 more days of the market before NFP, which is non-farm payrolls. So, ladies and gentlemen, back with the Vector Shades. Dr. Vector is now in your presence. I hope you're all well. Let's get with the flavor, ladies and gentlemen, and break down what's been going on. So here we go. Welcome. Yes, welcome. Happy New Year. Yes, Jim Cramer is bullish on cryptocurrency. Sell your Bitcoin. This guy, come on. Well, what can I say? So what's going on, guys? Happy New Year to you all. Mad love to you all, man. What is good? Yes. Helen. Well, we got lots of people in here, man, catching up with everyone. Look, man, we're back to the business now. You know, twice a day, we do the live streams. New York Open, I couldn't make it today. But, of course, wanted to do tonight just to get you guys prepared for what's to come. So let's get with the flavor of the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin. It's been a very interesting New Year's, should I say. Now, let's just go back to what we spoke about in the new year. So I shared this projection in the new year to the Platinum members to get them aligned with what Bitcoin could be preparing for. Now, we were talking about this area right here with a previous projection where we needed to see Bitcoin break this range right here on a vector candle, which was the 43,029 zone. It came down and the projection was on the idea that this is the reversal range between 41.5 and 41.960. I anticipated Bitcoin to start climbing up towards the New Year's And of course, going into the start of the markets opening and happy days from that. Lots of ETF news coming out. There was light volume, but we did start to see some flavor with Bitcoin over the weekend. And we then go into that and we see that the guys would have ripped it apart. Bitcoin climbs up and just look at how it just sticks. Reversal range, happy days. And this area here where it says must be broken with a vector was broken with a vector. And those are the signals that we get from the block strategy that we employ in with the Platinum members to get them to anticipate movement at a specific point, which is designed at helping them work out their risk management. Because I don't know how much you're prepared to risk, because I don't know what your relationship to risk is like. You know, $500 risk to you might not be much. $500 risk to someone else might be a lot. So you've got to always keep it in line with execution and think about it systematically, right? Trading has to be a system. It has to be executed like a system, all right? You got hybrid system, you got all sorts of systems out there, but are you executing it like a system? If then, what? That's what it is. This is how prop firms, and should I say hedge fund managers, the analysts all come together and they say, well, if this happens, then this is likely to happen. If this doesn't happen, then this is likely to happen. Because it's probabilities, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the fundamental basis of trading, full stop. Okay? We then go into today's price action with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's been a bit of a slow mover. Okay? So there were two instances. I expected Bitcoin to come down today. And we go into Bitcoin's chart and you can see it started to work its way down. I think Ethereum was the winner today for me because Ethereum came into its area, did us the FTD. Now this here is a green vector must break this zone, which is no different to what I mentioned a moment ago about the vector candle breaking a specific range. If you don't see the vector breaking a specific range, then you don't go in the direction of that trade, okay? Now, granted, everything had moved up over the weekend going into the new year. I expected some profit taking, so Ethereum climbs up to only come back down towards the projected zone, which was around the 2,360 region. We go into Ethereum and we get that move, happy days. So we start off the year pretty well for the guys in the Platinum section. Happy days to you all. I'm going to be doing a weekly outlook after this live stream. Going to get some written posts over to you and a very short video on what I'm expecting over the next 3 days of trading. So that leads us over to this bad boy right here. Here we go. So Wednesday, all right, we got ISM manufacturing data, JOLTS job openings, the FOMC minutes, and then going into Thursday, the ADP non-farm employment change, unemployment claims, and then of course on Friday we have the non-farm payrolls. This is a very volatile start to the trading week, because this is going to set the tone, okay? Now, with that being said, going over into something very peculiar. What was going on in the markets today? Well, round about the time that I shared the projection for Ethereum, okay, the dollar dominance was climbing up, okay? We go over to the dollar, and this is all going to help us make sense of what is going on with Bitcoin, all right? Dollar dominance. Zoom out. What do you see? You see this sharp move on the dollar. And it was in this area here today where I was like, right, I'm expecting dollar to climb up, which means the euro's going to be moving lower, okay? Now, are they setting up the dollar in preparation for what's to come this week? But the thing is, Bitcoin was moving up and dollar was moving up, and so was Ethereum. One way or another, the dollar is always going to come out on top because it's the dominant currency that is used to buy and sell Bitcoin. All right? And when we understand that and start our trading day with the understanding of what the dollar is doing, we're going to have a good idea of where we can anticipate price to go. All right? Why? Because it's the perception of value. Right now, the dollar is appreciated by 1.8%. That means now I can pick up more dollars on the back of a strong euro. So what I'm suggesting is that the dominance of the dollar is probably going to keep on climbing up because now people are getting more dollars for cheaper. It's not costing them that much. It looks like they're happy with 1.8% up here. They're happy with that. And we look at the chart of the dollar, you can see it's been going down and it's at its lowest point that it has been for a very long time. So when you're focusing on that, you're going to be saying to yourself, okay, maybe Bitcoin is looking like it wants to go higher, okay? And this is all being fueled by the ETF, ladies and gentlemen. We go into the story of it right now, and we've got, where is it? Bitcoin spot ETF anticipation boosts Bitcoin price to nearly 46K in strong start to 2024. All right? Everyone's anticipating it. All right? They've amended the actual clauses of the ETF, and it just any time right now, they could drop it on us. That's why you're probably going to see Bitcoin play around in this range. Okay? It might actually roll over. Now, logic would say, stick with me on this one. Whether or not BlackRock has picked up Bitcoin. I mean, I've read articles about BlackRock's picked up $10 million of Bitcoin. What is that? $10 million of Bitcoin. That's nothing. That is tuppence to the grand scheme of things. Sailors buying up how many Bitcoin? 14,000 Bitcoin last week. All right? You got Grayscale, like BlackRock only buying 10 million. Again, I don't think BlackRock's going to be buying loads of Bitcoin. I think it's going to be holding it just for the sake of holding it. But the agreement in place regarding the ETF to create cash crates, which means that APs, okay, associated, or what is it? Accepted partners, I believe it is. Or what was it? Alternative, associated players, associated partners. The APs are the banks that don't get the true connection or haven't got the right legislation to allow them to buy Bitcoin. They have to do it in terms of a stock, like a cash crate. So if I've got $10 million and I want to buy Bitcoin and my name is JP Morgan, I have to go to this intermediary and say, here's $10 million as a cash crate, as a fund, use that to buy me the Bitcoin, the ETF. BlackRock's going to benefit on the transactions of the ETF coming into play, and word on the street says that it could actually hit to a value of 1.8 trillion. That is a big market cap for an ETF, all right? We don't even have an ETF right now. I mean, look, let's just go over to the idea of an ETF. Let me just bring this bad boy up for you. You can see that Ethereum ETF, there's nothing much on that. Not that much of a big market cap, 33,700. Do the math, yeah? Multiply 33,700 by 55. There is, in essence, your market cap in principle, okay? So Bitcoin's going to be coming in at 1.8 trillion. That's for the ETF. What about crypto? What's it going to do for crypto? Because this move in Bitcoin is just endorsing the idea of the ETF. And you ain't shaking anyone out of Bitcoin. They're going to be holding on to it. Now, there are a lot of unrealized profits in these Bitcoin holders, and it's to the excess of around 30%, okay? There are lots of people short in Bitcoin right now. We go into the high block and you can see that they're actually trying to short the life out of Bitcoin with a few players coming in. Let me just change this up for you all. We've got a few players coming in at the top side of these liquidations over the last 7 days. And we can see it started to increase in concentration around 46,500. We've got $2.2 billion worth of short liquidations. And then going into the top end at 46,800, we've got another 2.1 billion. So collectively inside of this range, we've got roughly around 25-30 billion dollars between 47,350 and 46,000. Okay. Now, that's really important to understand. Why? Because people are in denial. They don't think it can go up anymore. They are going on the idea of sell the event or sell the news. And like I said to you all, Bitcoin will keep moving up in anticipation of the ETF, but it will then sharply move down. How far down it goes is a different story. The higher it goes, the easier the retrace back down would be. So, for example, if Bitcoin goes above 55,000 and not too far from its all-time high, the ETF comes into play, a big sell-off happens, happy days. It comes down to around 45, 44. Everyone will be accepting of that. The market will normalize, and then price will then slowly start to accumulate and climb its way back up again. But if it's really going to be the Ponzi scheme that people are proclaiming it to be, and this is going to be a liquidity run, well, then we go back into the high block to understand where the liquidity really resides on Bitcoin. This is not me being negative. This is me putting things into perspective so that you're not gunning for the charts with the, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out. You ain't missing out on nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? The liquidity currently sits around the 33,800 with 45.9 billion. Let's round it off. $46 billion worth of long liquidations. The messed up thing is this. The ETF hype has been advertised ever so well that you ain't getting no one to sell. That is a perfect environment for the market makers that be. We haven't seen enough adverts just yet. We've not really seen that much endorsement. They tested it. Look what happened. Bitcoin's now made it above that key 45 zone and is now stalling inside of this area. It swept the liquidity to the upside. Over the Christmas period, it's done well to hold inside of this range. And now it's gone beyond that and it's trading away key notable areas. Now listen, going into the daily candle itself, what have we got? We've got a very strong move to the upside. The previous day, look how it closed, man. It was not having any of it. Look at that. Smack right there. Now, remember what we said, okay? The 5 and 13 EMA are very important. This was your confirmation candle. The candle that closed below it. See, there were two candles that closed below it, but they were doing very well to stay above the moving average of the 50 EMA. They weren't tapping into the cloud. Look at these two rejection points right here. One at 41.27 and then one at 41.489. So then they continued back up. Now they're above the 5 and 13 EMA. The trend would be that things are looking to go higher. But you've got a sell the news event coming up. And you've got to be very, very careful with how you're playing this fear of missing out on Bitcoin going higher or getting trapped and being the sell liquidity for the day that the approval comes into play. We're all waiting for an approval. How many of you are waiting for a delay? And this is what we must factor in to the trades or our positions that we're looking to take. Going into the Glassnode, we can see Bitcoin over here. If we just zoom in a little bit, the green line represents the following. When it's going up, it means belief, okay? When it's going down, it's denial. Now, let's just look at what's been going on. Every time Bitcoin comes down, it triggers a move back up, comes down. Psychologically, people are like, it's going up. No, it's going down. It's going up. Oh, shit. Let me just Google what's going on in the ETF environment. It's going to be approved. Even if there is a delay, there is a 99% chance of it being approved. Okay, I'm just going to hold. That's what retail traders are doing. That's what people are doing when they're coming to this idea as to whether or not they should hold or sell. Now, Kathy Wood, unfortunately, has got rid of all of her crypto holdings. She's obviously a fund manager, Artwood Investments. So she might be into the idea of, I've made money on Bitcoin right now. We're going into an event which could actually create lots of volatility. I'm looking at the bigger picture. Forget what it does on the day of approval. I need to understand how it's going to behave after the approval, which then brings me, of course, back into this idea that I've spoken about. When the ETF gets listed, starts to trade, it then rolls over, and then it starts to pick up steam. Okay, this is what you're waiting for. My approach to this would be wait a week until the ETF is listed. See how price behaves. Always anticipate a sell-off when the ETF is listed because they're not going to make it available to all the players that be and all the guys behind closed doors be able to sell it or buy it on the day it's listed. Get out of here, man. Seriously. No different to an altcoin that pumps and then dumps, ladies and gentlemen. All right? People call it a rug pull. Well, you had your chance when it was rising. If you were an early adopter, you'd be selling into it going up. So we're going on the idea that is this selling happening right now? How do we sustain the idea of selling? Well, let's just look at this. What have we got? Do we have orders to suggest Bitcoin could climb higher? Yeah, we do. We've got a big sell order right here of 11 million. Okay, but if we just go back over here, it was this recovery zone over here before Bitcoin climbed up. Look at this. Now you see these areas here. The initial amount which triggered a sell-off at 43,780 was initially 9.37 million, okay? They traded 14.8, right? We go down and look at the next one. 6.5 million, they traded 6.8. Go down to this one, we had 8.8, and then we had 8.9, sorry. And then we go into this one, we see 3.46, didn't fully get traded at that point. We go into the top side of that range. There's another one where there was 11 million and 15 million actually traded out. Where was it? What I'm trying to say to you guys is this. As price rises, it starts to encourage people to sell. That's what leads these fueled moves to the upside with Bitcoin, because people are selling it right now, okay? You see it black and white. It's right there. These are sell orders. We go over to the Bookmap itself and understand the following. What do we see happening? Well, right now, the limit buys are coming into play. If you can see, make sure, yep. Top side, it says 26% positive. That means limit buys are coming into play. And of course, volume is up by 14%. So we've got some movement that is backed by volume, okay? We zoom out and we see that Bitcoin is currently sat at the VWAP right now after coming all the way back into it. Zoom out again and let's have a look at the profile of what look at that. Wow, we got some nice liquidity. Let's zoom out again. So this is what you got to say to yourself. Look at this right here. We have got interest coming in at 438 Bitcoin at 46,200, okay? Let me just go... Let me just go up a second. RTB, mad love to you, man. Thank you so much, bro. I thought you had a question for me, but mad love to you, okay? Thank you, bro. So look, you've got two instances where you've got 395 Bitcoin at 45,800 and 46,200, you've got 439 Bitcoin. The key thing for me is this. This player, all right, I'm going to assume it's an individual, all right? They cancel the order and they place it back on, okay? This order up here got cancelled, placed back on. So it could be an individual player, right, getting orders filled below the whole number of 46,000 and then selling it above the 46,000. Because if you look at the orders, one's at 392,391, which is changing, okay? Then you've got 46,200, which is 441. But it's ironic how both of the cancelled orders at these points happened at the same time. Now, we will never know who really is there. We don't know who it is. We just know that on the profile of Bitcoin on the order book, outside of the session volume profile, we can see that there's a player up there with 442 Bitcoin orders to sell, which happens to be similar to the amount at 45,800. So what's he hoping for? Is he building his positions down here to sell into them at that point? Or is he looking to see if price can break above the 45.8, tap the 46, come down, fill some orders here, and then go all the way up towards the 46.2? We will never know if that's going to stay as a sell order or a buy order until price gets towards it, all right? So it's very interesting to see this behavior, that it's all below a whole number and they're selling pretty much the same amount and more above that. It could be a spoof. It could be a fake order. That is something that we could take into consideration as well. Zoom out and we then see that there's even more interest down below. So we've got two key areas of support for Bitcoin. You've got this area here between 43,800 and 43,600. So this area right here in the chart of Bitcoin is where most of the limit buys were engaged alongside the limit sells, okay? So if price does come all the way back down to 43.5, we would expect support to come in from the bid side. Let's just go into the chart and understand that. Zoom out. Can we justify support at the 43.6? So we go into 43.6 and we got 43,530. We have 21.8 million as an order amount at 43,530, which has been there for 22 hours. Does that mean that it's going to fill that? We don't know. But what we know is there is commitment at that point. They're trying to book a bid at that price point to show support to buy Bitcoin cheaper. We have got the logic already inside of the book right here. We're seeing interest coming into the order book right here, and it's not even being transacted at because price is all the way up at 45,150, and we've got 44,400, which is a key area of support. So we're now going on the idea that maybe Bitcoin is going to attempt even further movements to the upside purely on the anticipation of this ETF. Well, we've already had a bank holiday for Japan, and we're also going into another bank holiday for the Japanese. So it means that we're going to be down pools of liquidity. So you've got to build that into your positions when you're trading Bitcoin. If you're a holder, you've just effectively had a breakout on whether it's a flag or a wing or a Toblerone, whatever you want to call it, okay? Psychologically, you've had a climatic move up and it's not following through. That's a problem for me. Now, if Bitcoin's going to follow the stock market, we need to look at what the stock market's doing. All right? Sorry, Bitcoin will follow the stock market because Bitcoin's money and Bitcoin's move to the upside is only going to come from the stock market because who's going to be buying the ETF? Wall Street investors. I hope. That's the truth. I hope they do. Because then we're going to start seeing some good old market caps. But is Bitcoin spot ETF going to get thrown into the other list of ETFs? Remember, collectively, all the ETFs that are out there available for you guys to buy comes to a market cap of around $56 billion. That's not a lot. We need a little bit more than that. So that means that if the same amount of market cap, hypothetically, if the same amount of market cap collectively of all the ETFs comes into play into just Bitcoin, that effectively means that Bitcoin's market or cryptocurrency's market cap increases by 56 billion on an ETF. So the next question is, why the fucking hype? Classic sell the news scenario. It's an advert. Price goes up, people buy. We know that. Okay? The stock market is starting to collect distribution days. What's a distribution day? It's a day where the market sells off heavily, more than average. The only people that's selling off in the stock market are effectively the bigger players. Now we understand when price is dropping, they're buying. Price is rising, they're selling. That's smart money and what have you. But we go into the actual stock market itself and you can see, let me just bring it up for you. The NASDAQ today took a little bit of a smack. Now, usually I start my trading during the first week after everyone's come back. I start to just play around with the markets, take a few stabs. What am I going to be looking at? How is the market behaving? I'm seeing the NASDAQ and the S&P starting to aggressively drop. Okay, and they're gapping down, which we've seen a gap down on the NASDAQ index itself. So there could be a lot of profit taking happening right now as we're going into what we understand to be the FOMC, which is what we've got this week, ladies and gentlemen, all right? So it's all going to be on what happens this week because the week after, oh my days, it's a beautiful week. There's nothing happening, all right? Monday's going to be free. Tuesday's going to be free. Wednesday's going to be free. Then early hours, late hours in the evening on Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, it's going to be sideways. We get the CPI data. It comes out and it's come down and it looks like everything's looking good for the United States. Interest rates are going to be reduced. Fed pivot on its way, ladies and gentlemen. Everything takes a slump. And then, of course, everything just climbs back up because the idea of money is going to be cheaper. Will it slump straight away? Not necessarily, because it takes a while for the market to have an impact on the increase of interest rates. Now we're going to be waiting for the impact of it coming into play as they decrease it. But there's going to be a lot of contingency plans for certain banks because of what happened last year with the bank scare. And yeah, we don't even want to be talking about that, where banks were buying out banks and no government involvement. Yeah, so they kind of understand that they cannot afford to rock the ship. So they're going to be playing, or credit's going to be a little bit harder to obtain, in my opinion, going into 2024. Okay? Now, what have we got? ETF, eventually things fall. Oh, wow. That is brilliant. Eventually things fall. On that note, looking at altcoins, where are we at with the likes? 1,300 beautiful people coming into the live tonight. Welcome back, gang, you know? 1,000 likes and we get into some more price action on the altcoins. Give you a little bit of a breakdown on what I think's going on, okay? 18 million in crypto tokens could flood exchanges in January. Axis unlocks. We all know that when they unlock, coins. Yes, there's more coins to buy, but it also implies a correction is due, okay? Now, bigger players might be jumping onto this idea, and they may already have these coins, and they're going to want to be selling into people. So in logic, we're going to see a little bit of a movement up on the unlocks, but it's going to be progressively coming down again. But it all depends on your strategy on cryptocurrency. You see this unlock happen, happy days. It takes a slump, you're optimistic because it means people are going to start buying it. The bull run comes into play, happy days, everything starts to rise. So you really got to play your times when it comes to working out what altcoins you should be picking. Always aim for altcoins that have high liquidity, lots of volume, okay? Now, saying that, you've got meme coins, right? Where they're coming into some very interesting volumes. I was watching one meme coin, I've forgotten what the name of it was, but went from 150 million market cap, and in a matter of, 2 weeks, it shot up to like 300-400, starts to get some traction, goes all the way up to about 890 million market cap, and that bad boy ain't even listed on any top exchanges. So you can see like that's really your strategy. I focus exclusively on market cap for altcoins. And if they're above the 100 million mark, I'm expecting some volatility. All right. Once I see the volatility coming into play, I look at where it's listed on certain exchanges. And if it's on the main exchanges, there's a good chance that I ain't got a chance to take anything from it because the liquidity has either come and gone. Okay. But if you've got an altcoin that hasn't been listed on a big exchange and it has a purpose and it's been listed as new recently, just take your due diligence, ladies and gentlemen, all right? You just wouldn't go all in straight away. First hand, you got 100 big blinds. Doesn't make sense, okay? So just take that with a pinch of salt. Always look at the market cap because the market cap represents people's feeling for it. They like it. Do we have an exchange that's come in and purchased a certain amount? When it's dropping aggressively, yet there's still traction in this coin, people talking about it on Twitter, which leads me over to the next thing over here. We got the altcoins that are being discussed across the board. You've got SKL, it's up 21% based on volume that's been coming into play and people talking about it. BSV, ZRX, Alfie, WRX, not really big coins in my opinion that are grabbing attention in my perspective. Okay, we have got politically what? SEC will approve a spot Bitcoin as a political necessity. All right, that's a problem. We don't want it to be influenced by politics right now. Hold on a second. Bitcoin on the live alts and unusual volume tab. We've got lots of... No, we don't. Here we go. Look. Selling on spot, 11 million. 158 million on futures. Selling on Ethereum. Bitcoin, 96 million. They're holding on to this. They are holding on to Bitcoin. Not much selling is happening on Bitcoin right now, which leads me over to EXO Charts to understand where we are for Bitcoin. Let me just bring this bad boy over to you so we can have a look at it. Here we go. So what have I got? Yeah, I got rotation in Bitcoin right now. You can see that is evident here. You got rotation where price is rotating around the VWAP. The purple line is the VWAP. And we've got price going above it because the idea is they like to sell above the VWAP and buy below the VWAP. That's the story. So it goes above, comes down, goes back into it, comes down, goes up, goes into it. Notice this bit of an aggressive move down led to an aggressive move back up, but still meeting the same fate of pulling away from the VWAP. So it's going to be very interesting. Granted, we've got some nasty imbalances right here. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's just have a look. Don't have that much buying and selling. I'd say give the market this week because it's going to start picking up when we get towards the non-farm payrolls. But give the market a week because if you're itching to get back into trading, then you're kind of addicted to trading. You don't want to be addicted to it because you could open a trade and you lose and that addiction comes in and fucks you up and you start putting down money that you don't want to be losing because you just want to keep feeding the idea of being in a trade. No, you're about the kill shot. You're about getting in, fast out. Pick your spots. The heavyweights ain't even back yet, and we're back to the first trading day, and we've seen just sell-offs across the board, but volume is relatively light in terms of cryptocurrency, in my opinion. Okay, what else we got? Bonks on the way down, all played out. Yes, okay. Okay, then, what else have we got? Let me just have a look. at what's going on over here. This is interesting for you guys. We all know that when Bitcoin goes up, most of the altcoins shoot up. When Ethereum goes up, it's the same story, okay? But when it comes to looking at the open interest for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I've seen, look, loads of people are going short right now, okay? And I think they're going to end up paying the price for it. They're going to see that when Bitcoin starts to roll over, they're going to get excited and they're going to start trying to run for the shorts, and it's not going to be good for them. That doesn't mean just quickly go long and just put your money into Bitcoin. You got to understand, we're talking about specific points in the chart. No different to this play right here, where we anticipated Bitcoin to go up over the weekend. And it took a little while for them to get to that point. People's opinion of Bitcoin at this point said that it's going down, forget the ETF. And they kind of built those positions on the backs of these red vector candles coming into play. Bang, they shifted out to the upside and ended up doing this flavor right here. Look, do this exercise. Take the chart when you've got the hybrid system. And if you haven't got the hybrid system, download it. It's free of charge. It costs you nothing. Just download it. And there's even a free course on how to use it. Okay, understanding all the basis of this. Look, you've got patterns, moving averages, the levels, the pivot points, the vector candles, and you get PDFs in that bad boy as well. There are other courses that you can buy. Don't get it twisted. There are other courses for those who have been around a while, but they want the convenience of having to not go through the YouTube channel. Everything is on the YouTube channel for free, but these courses have been created for convenience, for you to just dive into it and learn how to make money using the hybrid system. But get the free course, because there's no point in even taking anything else if you don't have the free course. You're not going to know anything. It's not going to teach you anything. You'll just see, oh, wow, what does that mean? You're going to go back to the free course to understand what it means. So check this out. You've got to become a bronze member just to keep out all those scammers and those treacherous spam bots that hit websites. Become a bronze member. It's free to become. And then you get access to the hybrid system. 1 hour, man. And you'll learn everything you need to know about it. And if you're really clever with it, you'll understand how to trade the hybrid system, but go through everything that's on there. Okay? Cool. Now, back into the logic of this exercise. You can see over here where you've got red vectors on the left of the chart. If you can see, yes, red vectors. And you've got green vectors over here. Well, the best way for you to see it is like this. You need to split price up. Okay? What's going on over here? Oh, they're selling. People are going crazy. Go short on Bitcoin. Whilst that's happening, you are witnessing an influx of margins being opened up by Mr. Market Maker, or should I say retail traders, because when he buys, you sell. When he sells, you buy. Okay, where are you getting your profit from? We all know this. This is hybrid system 101. This is market making 101. Before someone can buy, someone has to sell. You want to see the proof of it? Just go over to this. Look, the bidders and the sellers, the bidders and the asks, the offers. It's all in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. You want more? Go over to this bad boy right here and go to the levels. Pull up the liquidation points for anybody that's new to the channel. All right. And what do we see over here? Look, where are people buying? They're buying at the highest point right here. We've had 800 contracts at 45,931. Someone went long, or a group of people went long at that high point in the chart because there was a supply of someone stepping in to sell them that contract, because you can't buy if no one sells. Likewise, when price is taking a nosedive to the downside, who's that? Oh, they're selling. Quickly, drop it, drop it, drop it. You can only sell if someone's prepared to buy. And that's where your fees come into play with Binance and Bybit and Crypto.com and whatever exchange you do use. They guarantee that your order is going to be filled. And that's what Market Maker does. And that's what open interest is. And that's what this heat map suggests. It shows us that the shorts are coming into play on Bitcoin at the top side of 46,200. They're borrowing money. There's already money down here that's been borrowed, which Bitcoin could be coming back into. We're only 5K away from it. Don't get it twisted. A 5K move on Bitcoin is very plausible. It can happen overnight, okay? So just take that into consideration. It's going to be a very interesting Asian session tonight. But back into the logic of this exercise, if you've got red vectors to the left of the chart, depending on the time frame, ideally work off the hourly. If price starts to stabilize inside of this zone over here, you're then understanding that there could be a change in the market. they could be getting ready to accumulate and start hitting the liquidation points for all of these players that went short. Okay? Get enough people to believe it can't go any higher. Okay? Get them in on the short, screw them on the retrace back up. That's exactly what the logic was for this trade right here. The hybrid system gave us the clue with the red vector candle, came down. The violet vector again, the blue vector candle, blue vectors, stopping volume candle right there, the little blue one, if you can see it, suggesting that there was a sweep to go down, to trap the trader short, to reverse it. First green vector candle above the 50 EMA, where is it? It's right there. Above the 50 EMA, ladies and gentlemen. Just that logic itself, you would have seen the move to the upside. And there was a confluence here. Above the 200 EMA, above the 5, above the 13, above the 50 EMA, above the psychological high. Do I need to continue anymore? No. Welcome back to the lives, ladies and gentlemen. What have we got? What's going on? Right, Tino, could you look at PERP, please? I got in at 65. As in the coin PERP. Is that what you mean? Let's have a look at these altcoins. Where are we at? 1,400 of you, 495 likes. Get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen, man. Here we go. So, nice little flavoursome move to the upside. $1.72. Your question was, I sold at $1.70, took profits, but still looking to get in. Thanks for the hybrid. Bro, you got in at 65. You sold at 170. Congratulations. You're looking to get in. What do you mean get in? As in buy it? Dude, you dare buy it from here. Don't you dare buy it from here. Nah, bro, don't. And that's not financial advice, my friend. That's common sense. You were, as what one would call, an early adopter. You stepped in at this point at 65. You've gone and rinsed it to the upside. Please do not be buying at this point. And even if this bad boy continues to fly, all right? Well, what can I say to you? That shit happens, okay? But practice the exercise. Don't be buying up when people are trying to buy up. Okay? You're looking for sells. This is the logic. It's an aggressive move up. Historically, it does that. It pumps and then it drops, starts the whole process again. All right? When anything's moved up like this, my opinion, I'm always looking at coins that have taken a slump. Okay? If I'm favoring a bias to see prices going up, I'm looking for altcoins that have taken a move to the downside. Go over to my altcoins boss list, have a look at that bad boy. What's been losing, what's been making money. Right, so 12% down, TRIAS, okay? It's down 12% for the day. So it opened up pretty high up here and it's now taken a move to the downside. Cool, what's it got? Put the hybrid system logic together. Coming into vector candle points, we would assume that if the move is going to sustain itself, it's going to hold inside of these ranges. I don't care what the coin is. Well, I do care what the coin is in reference to volume, but an altcoin that is priced at $13, I'm cool with that, okay? Even this madness right here, look, TRB, look at this bad boy right here. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the treachery of it all. You know this bad boy is coming back up to these vectors. It's going to take a little while, but it will be coming back to this point, okay? Just look at it. Absolutely phenomenal. $650. Like, hold on a second. Let's go to the 3-day chart. I mean, this thing got listed what? And then happy days. 2021, and off it goes. Recovers the wicks, recovers everything. They load it all up. And this is just phenomenal, you know? You shorted that, congratulations, but you would have been paying the price if you were trying to catch the short. Let's just go down into the smaller time frames just to see if we could actually understand us catching the short. So we look at it and we say, okay, then what have we got? Look, this thing right here, man. You would always be waiting for the short the second it can't sustain this logic above it. Look, M formation. You're waiting for that logic. And anyone that's taken the scalping course, okay, which is this bad boy right here, the scalping hybrid system, you will know what this is. You will know exactly what this structure is right here, all right, when it comes to the moving averages. Exactly what that is. CAS, realistically, get to $4 by 2025, bruv. Come on, man. You want to know? To get to $4 by 2025. Like, I mean, bruv, I got mad love for you, Dippy, man. 2025. 2025, bruv. What are you getting me to do here? Who's told you that? Well, look, listen. This price point of 11 cents, I'm not saying it can't, okay? But the question you're probably asking is, can it get to $4? How much money have I got right now to buy a bag of this bad boy and hold it till that price point? Well, this is when you start looking into the coin. What's going on with the paper itself, the white paper? How many developers are stepping in and coming away from the asset itself? Okay, what's the roadmap looking like? Have we had any developers that talk shit about it? We had any developers that want to eagerly work with this? What are their partnerships looking like? Because we can easily assume that we're partners with people, but what are they actively doing with it? Okay, what's going on inside the code itself? You know, is there one main holder? How is it distributed? Are they burning any of the coins? Like, you've got to go and look into all of that. Before you start looking at $4, aim for $1. It's more realistic to assume it could go to $1, okay, and see a bit of a correction rather than focusing on $4, because then you're just hoping for home runs. We're looking at TRB and thinking, oh my days, it could do that. Yeah, granted, it could do that. But if you remember the live stream not so long ago before the Christmas period, okay? If you remember, I was talking about the build up to when these events happen, okay? What news is coming out that is making TRB behave the way it's behaved, okay? Go and look at it all building up, all right? Because the same thing happens for a stock, the same thing happens for Bitcoin, the same thing happens for everything on Wall Street. When it comes to advertising an opportunity to sell something, they're going to make sure they get everyone on the bandwagon so they can sell it to them. That's how you've got to see the marketplace, right? Jonathan, what's good? Can you take a look at GALA? What's your opinion with the whole lawsuit between the founders? Can it still reach to a recent high? Well, let's put it like this. With regards to the lawsuit, I haven't dived into the GALA lawsuit. I saw it briefly. But if you remember, there is a coin called XRP that has been smacked about with regards to a lawsuit, but it seems to be holding out pretty well. Now we look at GALA and we then say, is it the same story? But we're looking at what's going on right now. We've seen the sustained move to the upside, and it looks like as an altcoin, it's pumping up, it's coming down. And the thing you've got to take into consideration with altcoins is this. We might look at, for example, the idea of where CAS is right now, and it's going to go to $4, okay? I don't even think there are players that even care about what the prices are of these altcoins. Come on, this is liquidity runs, okay? You understand, cryptocurrency does a fantastic job of advertising to people. You know, you got crypto in YouTube influencers. This coin's going to go. This coin is going to go. This coin is going to go. The bull run and all that. They will proclaim the victory when the coin gets to it. Happy days. But everyone is subject to that sell liquidity. If they've got a belief that it's going to 100x or 1000x, well, they might hold a little bag or two, okay? But the logic is, if he's feeling that way about it, and then he's telling other people to feel that way about it, well, what about the people that he already heard it from? And then you're always caught with the idea of, oh man, I'll buy this altcoin because my guy said it's going to go up by 1000x. And you end up playing this bullshit game of watching your coin just sit looking like an electrocardiogram for a pensioner that's on his way out. He's 99 years of age and you're just waiting for the inevitable. Blip, done. These little blips right here is what goes on in the altcoin market. You got to try and capture that. You got to anticipate what news event could trigger it. What's the build up? What's the community saying about it? Trade the community. Don't trade the asset. Trade the community. Who's talking shit about it? Who's endorsing it? What's going on with the hashtags? How many people are talking about? Why is this a metric on this? Cointelegraph. Why is this a metric? Right here. Tweet volume gainers in the last 24 hours. Volumes increased on SKL 242% and prices increased by 90%. Let's just go over and have a look at SKL. Here we go. USDT. What have we got? SKL tetherers. Awesome. Look at that bad boy. What's the community saying? Fucking buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. You're going to get ready to short this bad boy. Trade the community. Because the same people that are buying this right now, they're missing out. Oh, my days, man. I've missed out on this move. Never mind. It's only 8 cents. I'm going to buy some more of it. We start to see the wave of 3. 1, 2. logic would say a sweep up, get everyone committed, happy days, they're loving life, rip it back down again. Don't tell me it doesn't, because it does. Look at this. They do it all the time. You know? Give me one outstanding thing that happens in an altcoin, other than an upgrade, other than a massive endorsement. When you see a big pump up, it's coming down. Look at TRB. Happy days. Yeah? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let me just have a look at Solana because she's been doing some flavor. Here we go. Right, so Solana. Like, what I understand about Solana is this, okay? Solana moves up, and it's all about these meme coins going onto the Solana, and you can trade it off Solana and what have you. That's where most of this fuel is happening with Solana. Solana comes down, in my opinion, Ethereum, Bitcoin start to continue up because Solana's starting to hold it down with regards to the market cap. It's generating. You'll see Ethereum go up, Euro go down. Okay, like let's just look at the logic. So Ethereum has been trading up. Okay, it's now moving down. It's cleared that zone, happy days, but it's been moving up and Euro has been moving down. Okay, like Euro's completed one of our projections halfway to it. It took a little while, but it's already made its way towards that. So I want it to come down towards this point here, but never mind. It's taken a while because I expect that with Euro anyway. But Ethereum has come down. Ethereum is moving up in principle. Euro's come down. Solana's been moving down. Ethereum is effectively up. Okay, there's this relationship between the two coins. Okay, now whether it's something to do with the on-chain, people are buying and selling, or NFTs, whatever it is, okay, you've got to monitor it and just be like, okay, when Solana starts to consolidate, because what I think happens here, right, is when you've got volatile movement by Solana and you've got Ethereum and Bitcoin doing nada, like this whole move to the upside by Solana was absolutely phenomenal, okay, but Bitcoin and Ethereum really didn't do too much. So in my opinion, I'd be focusing on Solana to really justify if Ethereum's going to start making a move. Why? Because if Solana's knocking BNB and XRP off the market cap list, you then start to think, hold on a second, something's brewing with this. Could this be? You know, in crypto, in Forex, you have the idea of a carry trade principle. The carry trade principle says you get a low yielding asset, use that, borrow money on the back of that, and then go and exchange it for a higher yielding asset. For example, change US dollars to Aussie dollars, use the Aussie dollars to go and buy higher exposure or high risk investments, okay? Which means dollar goes down, the Aussie pair goes up, dollar, Aussie, dollar, okay? Could that be the case with Solana? Because cryptocurrency is only against the dollar itself. And it's not a different currency, but it's fundamentally, it's a cryptocurrency. It's just one thing, all right? That's why we always use Bitcoin, okay? It's the basis. It's the genesis, the beginning. It's the one, okay? But it's not another thing. It's the same thing, just different types, you know? Aussie dollar is an Australian dollar, okay? The euro is the euro, all right? The pound is the pound. Yes, it's fiat, but could the carry principle be in with Solana? Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them. No problem, no problem. All right, it's not about the coin, it's about the project. Correct, it's not about the coin, it's about the project. Again, I've explained this, so yeah, that's cool. What do you think about Solana hitting 140, 143 soon? Possibility. Oh, that's not too far away. Okay, if Solana makes a move on average of 1,145 pips, that's the smallest change in price. Okay, let's just go to see how many pips that is. That's 3,191 pips. Well, on a weekly basis, Solana, or a monthly basis, sorry, ADR times 3. So if Solana can travel upwards to the tone of 1,145 pips, okay, well, it can achieve that in a week. Because an ADR times 3, we assume that the average daily range is, if it's in an upwards move, it's going to be traveling to the tone of 3. So if it keeps on moving up, then its ADR is going to be 1,145 times 3. We would expect 3,437 pips from Solana. Well, from the current price point to $140 is 3,191 pips. That's well within its ADR. If the average monthly range from the monthly open is 2,343 pips, then we go into the monthly open candle. Let's just go over to that bad boy right now. Right, 2,343 go over to there. Here's the monthly candle. Let me just get rid of all of this. The monthly candle open starts right here. 2,343. That puts us at 125. Is it within its expectation on the average of how it moves on a month-on-month basis? Of course it is. So a plausible claim about it going to $140. Okay? Try and use the sum of the ADR of any asset that you're trading to understand the likeliness of it going to a specific place in the chart. The average daily range. Look. This is what this is. Range daily high, range daily low. From the daily open, it's either going to go up towards that point, which will be 1,145 pips from the daily open, or it's going to go down 1,445 pips from the daily open. That's your range. And whatever range that you do get, okay, wait for the drop, the retrace, continuation. Or wait for the rise, the retrace, the continuation. Because if they've sold off from this point and tried to come back up from this area, and they can't, then we know that this area right here is a block that's effectively forcing the sells. So they come and recover 50% of it, drop back down again, selling from the highest point to come down. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you, ladies and gentlemen. I've given too much. I've taken way too much of your time. Please forgive me. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. And I will be checking in with you beautiful people for that New York flavor tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, ladies and gentlemen, 2 p.m. UK time. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. It's good to be back. Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace.